by itself is only the starting point. It is not the end. And you will see in the next few slides that I'm going to show you why I say that CCTV is not enough, do more. Because if CCTV was enough, then all of you have seen this case, heard this case about our minister Smriti Irani ji. There was nothing wrong with the camera. The camera's angle was shifted, and you know what happened. Next slide, please. We also know about the corporate espionage case in the Petroleum Ministry in New Delhi, where there were cameras. They bribed the CCTV operator, and they would come and photocopy the secrets and go away, and the cameras would start again. So my question is, kya CCTV kafi hai? It is the starting point. One or two more slides, and then I'll go on to the next. School molestation cases. We are all speaking here about video analytics. Tell me, is there any video analytics in the world that will tell or warn the school that this child that is being taken by the perpetrator to the 4th floor, 5th floor, 6th floor, whatever it is actually a potential rapist and not her parent or brother or father or whatever? It is not sufficient to have CCTV, it is not sufficient to have video analytics. And see the last line. See what the parents are saying. The parents are saying that we want footage checked every day. Because in this case, what happened was that they could not find the footage. Now we don't know whether the perpetrator himself was the cause for the loss of the footage. Next slide, please. Wakula police station shootout. There was a case where one inspector killed another inspector. When they tried to find the footage, they realized that the camera itself was not working. Next slide, please. Mumbai jewelers murder case, typical problems that keep on happening, and I don't know if there are some policemen here, but they'll appreciate what I'm saying. They killed the jeweler, took the money, and they also ran away with the hard disk. So what is the point of having that CCTV camera? Next point, please. In this case, an entire ATM was taken away. The police station was only 200 meters away, and the perpetrators knew that the cameras were not working. So, wo camera kis kaam ka? Next slide, please. Moral of the story: CCTV is not enough. Irrespective of what cameras that you have, our software, we are crime prevention technology, we are a software that sits on top of a CCTV video feed, whether it comes from a company like Cisco or whether it comes from a small Chinese manufacturer. It will work with all your existing CCTV systems. So moral is, please review CCTV daily. Please back up CCTV. And please report incidents in a standardized format. And I had the opportunity to present the paper at COM-SUR that incidents do not differ by geography. So why isn't the world adopting one global standard of incident reports, which is intelligent, which can help solve crime faster, which can reduce the burden of the police force? Next slide, please. So let's go back to one question. Okay, why doesn't anybody review CCTV? Simple question. It's impossible until now. Because how do you expect somebody to watch 24 hours of video? You can't. But if there is technology that makes 24 hours of video in 1 hour, perhaps 10 minutes, to give you a good sense of what happened, then tell me, will you not watch? And it is only when you review, only when you do post-facto surveillance, only when you do that will you begin to realize lots of things. Next please. We have a wonderful integration now with YouTube. So we can take your videos, stitch them together and put them onto your private YouTube channel and show you 24 hours of video in as little as a few minutes. Sure, we'll skip a few frames, but that's fine. As long as it gives you a good sense of what happened, that's fine. Next slide, please. Please remember, there are three things that I just want to talk about. real-time surveillance. Everybody talks about command and control centers. Does anybody bother to find out about the man who's watching video feeds in real time? He's not watching a Salman Khan film. And there is enough research that shows something called video blindness. In 19 minutes, if I'm not wrong, a person becomes 45% video blind. In 44 minutes, he becomes 90% video blind. So although you feel he is watching, he is video blind. So therefore, along with real-time surveillance, what you need to have is post-facto surveillance. And while video analytics are important, don't forget the power of human analytics. This computer that God gave us between our ears and these eyes, there are no analytics that can better them. Between an enemy country and India, at night, when a person cannot see anything, finally it's the man behind the gun who decides to shoot. Is he firing on an enemy or is he firing on his brother soldier? So remember, human analytics are very important. Next please. Paris. After Paris, who could be next? Who knows? Do you think that was the end of it all? No. And what am I coming to? Why am I talking about Paris? Next please. Let's listen to what David Cameron said, only 10 seconds. Listen. It's a 10-second video.
That however strong we are, however much we prepare, we in the UK face the same threat. That's why we continue to encourage the public to remain vigilant, and we will do all we can to support our police and intelligence agencies with the resources and the capabilities that they need.
Public participation.
That however strong we are, however
Public
much
participation. Very, very important. You must have public participation. You must have more eyes watching. So imagine if people are watching their videos, they become more eyes for the police. And here I'd like to say that the Mumbai police has started a very effective, a very unique program, where they are going and encouraging children at school, 10th grade kids, that if you see things that are not so correct in and around your school, please come and tell us through your principals. So therefore, public participation. So more people watching video, you're going to have more eyes on the street, and that brings down crime. Next please. There is a Maharashtra Internal Security Act coming up, and I'll just read it out to you. In the coming days, malls, temples, schools, and even private buildings will be responsible for their security. The whole idea is to make all stakeholders accountable for the law and order of their building and establishment. So they want participation. Next please. Finally, just do a Google search and see for standard signs of CCTV. Here I'm showing 6. You'll find 600. Everybody says, CCTV, you are being watched and so on and so forth. What I'm trying to say is that instead of having that sign, change the slide please. Why don't you have this sign? We check CCTV every day. Set a global standard of this sign. It's a very powerful message. It's a message that tells a potential perpetrator that you're going to be in trouble if you try and fool around at my establishment. Even if you don't check, he doesn't know that. Alright, next slide please. Finally, if you've read this, ISI is trying to vandalize religious places in our country. And you know what can happen. So, I'm going to make an announcement. Next please. That places of worship in our country are very, very vulnerable targets. And I don't need to tell you that if something happens in a temple, we can have repercussions across the country. And as a social initiative from our organization, what we are doing is we are giving away our technology, offering our technology for free to every place of worship in the world. So therefore, I request you that if you, we can't do it alone, but if you happen to know somebody who can make use of this technology, we'll consider ourselves blessed, because we believe we were chosen to build this, and we'd like this to have, the good implications that it can bring forth. Finally, our technology is exceptional in terms of helping the police themselves in bringing efficiency, helping them create more manage law and order, and so on and so forth. So if there is somebody here from the police, please come and see us, and we'll show you what we can do for you. Next, please. Yes, last slide. This is a product proudly made in India, and it will help from Swachhata to Surakshata. Next and last. Conclusion, act now, don't wait for things to go wrong. Thank you very much.